I used to practice skiing by strapping myself to the roof of a speeding car.
Right, please, team.
Is this how you lost your hair?
Might have something to do with it.
So, OK, when was this?
Oh, back in the late 70s, early 80s. I was a skier.
What, a professional skier?
Yes.
Were you?
Before you were an antiques guy?
Yes.
And you learned that on a car?
No, it was part of my training. We didn't have a lot of money, so we wanted to get used to going fast.
Where was
so we
this?
used to strap up in Austria.
In Austria?
Right, because there are no mountains in Austria where you could practice on.
Are you talking about a professional skier in events, or you mean you taught people to ski?
No, I also raced around Europe.
I'll tell you what, if he's lying and he just added in, I was a professional skier, he's risking it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because we're going to ask him questions. And...
Yeah.
Who was the best downhill skier in the 80s?
Franz Klammer.
Not you!
Franz Klammer.
I will never know.
So why wouldn't you use the mountains in Austria, then?
Well, for two reasons.
What are they?
One is I would have been a danger on the slopes.
Are you not a danger when you're strapped to a car on a road?
No, we weren't on a road.
Oh, where were you?
A racetrack. Well, it's actually a trotting track. It's for horses that trot round the...
And how'd you learn to ride them? Did you put the horse on top of the car and then get on top of the horse? You were never on a public road, were you?
No.
There was never any situations where the driver forgot and thought, oh, I'll just pop into this underground car park for a bit. What was the second reason? You never got to that.
We didn't have the money either.
But you had the money for a car and the hiring of a racetrack.
We didn't have to hire the racetrack. The car was thrown in, as it were. It was a special car because it had to have a very long roof rack.
What are you practising?
The feeling of speed.
So what sort of speeds are we talking about?
We tried to get to speeds between 60 and 80 miles an hour.
No.
And all this holding you on is the boot attached to the skis?
Yes.
And what sort of pose, now, then, are you doing? Could you show us the kind of position you would assume?
I'd start standing up, and then I'd get down into this position with my
on the top
sticks
of the
here
car.
like this.
How long is the journey?
We just keep going around the track till, you know, we're tired.
How are you telling the driver?
Yes,
That
that's a good point.
Because you're on top of a car going at 60 miles an hour, and you're thinking, I'm knackered here, and so...
Well, I've got poles, and we had a system where you would just bang the car.
Oh, come on!
One bang for stop, two bangs for a snack.
What are we thinking? Sophie, could he be telling the truth?
It's a 9 from me, it's a lie.
I don't know what you learn. What's that training you to do in a car? Because if you're on a ski slope going, oh no, I'm 60 miles an hour, I think I'm going to crash into the tree. Oh, I know. I'll tap on the window. Oh, no, there is no window. Doesn't work. What are you training to do?
Well, you know, just get used to the speed.
Right, what's your team going to say, Lee?
It's a lie.
Do you think it's a lie?
Lie.
We're going to go lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Raj, was it true, or were you telling a lie?
I was, in fact, telling the truth.
Yes, it's true. Raj really did practice skiing on the roof of a car. So please welcome this week's special guest, Sean. So, Raj, what is Sean to you?
This is Sean. I used to whip his shirt off in public for money.
Right, Raj's bare-chested buddy. Gemma, how do you know Sean?
This is Sean, and at school he blew up my Watsits.
Right, Gemma's crisp combustor. And finally, David, what is your relationship with Sean?
This is Sean. As a boy, I would only let him cut my hair if he was dressed as Zorro.
So there we have it. Raj's bare-chested buddy, Gemma's crisp combustor, or David's heroic hairdresser. Lee's team, where will you begin?
OK, Raj, you used to rip his shirt off for money.
Yep.
When was this?
Back in the early 80s.
Well, let's just get straight to the point. What the hell are you talking about? Why did you rip his shirt off for money?
Well, I'm a bit of a keen amateur magician.
Oh, hello. Where did you learn this? On top of a bicycle?
But I also owned a bistro, so it allowed me...
Oh, hello, Snow, once again.
What a life you've led!
And because I had the bistro, it allowed me to indulge my passion of magic. So I used to hold magic evenings, where we'd give them dinner, and then we'd do close-up magic, and then we'd end up doing a little bit of a cabaret.
So what was the trick that involved you ripping off his shirt?
Well, it was the finale to the cabaret act.
What was the finale?
Ripping his shirt off.
That's not a trick, that's assault.
Talk us through it, Raj. We've come to your bistro and we've had a super evening. The food is lovely.
Yep.
And then, oh, hang on, what's happening now?
Yeah, I would ask for a volunteer to come out.
Right.
And lots of people would put their hands up, but I would choose Sean.
Oh, he was
He was my stooge.
So you're telling me that the regulars used to go, that fella's in again. He's having a terrible night. Wait till the end of the night and you see what happens. It gets worse. Every week he falls for this, the poor fella. I'm a viewer. Don't tell me how it's done. As a viewer, what would I have seen?
You would have seen my volunteer come out, and I would sit him down on a chair. I would tell him to relax. I would undo some buttons.
And would you take it, like, from the collar and just go whoosh and it would come off?
Yeah, something like that.
Did it ever go wrong? Did you ever, like, take his nose off?
Well, we had a few incidents.
What happened when it went wrong?
Well, he's the third stooge I've had.
All right, who would you like to quiz next?
Gemma?
Gemma.
OK. So he blew up your what's-it, the little snack. Was it a very strict school?
Yeah, I was at school. He was my teacher, and I was being naughty by eating in the back of the room, just being a bit of a troublemaker.
How did he blow it up?
Well, he was in the middle of doing an experiment, and then he made an example of me by taking the packet to the front of the room where this experiment was happening and, like, sprayed it with, a dry oxygen or something, like some sort of steamy thing. The Bunsen burner was going, and then they just, like, went poof!
Just by heating them up?
Yeah. But, like, it was
blow?
something to do with what was sprayed, like, this kind of...
Yeah.
Petrol.
Yeah. And then everybody was laughing, and then he said, that's what will happen if you eat what's-it.
Did it stop you from eating in class? Did it have the desired effect?
It had the desired effect, and we got on a lot more after that as well.
It broke the ice.
Yeah.
Suddenly it was Dead Poets Society.
What's his surname?
Smith.
Smith?
Yeah.
Oh.
How did you just think of that like that?
Does Smiths make what? No, it's Golden Wonder, isn't it?
I think Golden Wonder sold Whatsits, I think, to Walkers. I think it was a major corporate error because they were losing market share in their crisps, but they had this Whatsits brand, and then on some dark day they decided to sell that brand, and then they were left with nothing. And that shows you the kind of error that can be made at a corporate level. So we should be careful before we believe that these corporations are sort of magical and the private sector can do things. And before we sell the NHS down the river, remember the idiocy of Golden Wonder.
OK, now then, what about David? Just remind us, David.
As a boy, I would only let Sean cut my hair if he was dressed as Zorro.
It doesn't seem very worth his while. What was the kind of... How much were you paying him to dress as Zorro for this one haircut?
To be honest, I was a child. I didn't pay him.
This is the bit I doubt, that David was a child ever. Did you go asking for Zorro? Was it just an optional thing he used to put on the board? As Zorro, an extra £3.
I think my parents requested Zorro.
What?
Why?
Well, because I was nervous about having a haircut. I think I was about 5, something like that. And I think they'd had an awkward experience with me freaking out at a previous hairdressing encounter.
Yeah, it makes sense. So let's
decided...
calm him down by getting someone to do it with a blindfold whilst I'm holding a big sharp knife.
Well, let's remind ourselves. Here's Zorro. Have a look. Is that how he would dress up?
As far as I remember, he had a black hat and a black mask.
My God, this show's taken a sort of let's help David turn, hasn't it? So tell us what you look like. Well, here's a picture of him.
Which you genuinely otherwise have thought I hadn't heard of Zorro.
No, but you might have got it wrong.
Well, just, you know, he wore the classic Zorro fireman's helmet and a stethoscope.
So how old were you?
5, I think. Might have been 6, I'm not sure.
How old was he, approximately?
How old was he?
Don't look at him.
You can't stop me looking at him. I think he was in his 20s.
Right, so let's be kind and say 21. So, therefore, he's 15 years older than you at that time.
Yeah.
You're saying this man is 15 years older than you.
And how old are you? 47.
Approximately the same age to me, that man.
OK.
Paint a picture for us. Young Master David is going to the high street to the barber's, unaware of the great fame and glory that lies ahead of him, for now he's just a small boy.
Yes.
What happens?
I can't remember the details, but broadly, I was very nervous about going to hairdressers.
I don't want to go in, Mummy. No. I want to go home and write with my crayons. I'm going to write a satirical look back at the week that's just happened. My friends in playgroup are telling me I'm quite the wit.
I mean, I was probably unbearable, you're right. You know, I contemplate that every day.
You say unbearable, I say adorable.
Thank you. I don't remember the details. What's that?
Sending you a heart.
Oh, is that a heart? I thought that was saying, remember your kidneys.
Right, we need an answer. So, Lee's team, is Sean Raj's bare-chested buddy, Gemma's crisp combustor, or David's heroic hairdresser?
I'm struggling with David's here a little bit.
Yes. So Gemma's Watsits. That's very believable. That's the kind of thing a kind of wacky science teacher would do to...
Yeah. It is very
passion
believable.
in science.
And what's unbelievable is the idea that... Now, Raj...
Have you left the gas on?
Raj, show us a trick.
If I could have half an hour
Yeah.
and the use of the internet, I'm sure I could do that.
Oh, yeah, but what did you think the question was? I don't know, what do you think?
I think he does look a lot like a science teacher. I think Gemma's telling the truth.
So we're going to say Gemma.
Yeah.
Gemma?
I'm saying it's Gemma. OK, right. So, Sean, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Sean, and Raj used to whip my shirt off for money.
Yes, Sean is Raj's bare-chested buddy, and we can now see the trick. So, you're going to need to wear masks for this, please. Sean, if you...
Zorro masks!
You take a position there in the chair, and then over to you, Raj.
Well, I would simply get Sean out as my stooge. We'd act as if we didn't know each other. I'd say, good evening, how are you? And I would undo his wrist button, and then I would undo this button. And then, as you can see, I'd undo this button. And then, all I'd say is, on the count of 3, we'd say some magic words. And tonight, they are, would I lie to you? So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Would I lie to you?
Oh, hang on. What's happened? I've nearly killed him.
Sorry, I've been having a breakdown. I'm actually Gemma's science test. The noise was the best bit.
30 years since we've done it.
I've just got pictures of him 30 years ago, just coming in every week going, can you please do it right this time?
It was the second poll. You decided to go again was the coolest bit. Why did you keep going?
Thank God you didn't cut him in half.
Is Sean all right?
Who cares?
Raj!
He's fine.
I love the idea that he had to put masks on for safety reasons.
Yeah.
And it almost took his head off.
please welcome this week's special guest, Melissa. So, Raj, what is Melissa to you?
Well, this is Melissa, and last year she caught me cuddling her car.
Deborah, how do you know Melissa?
Well, this is Melissa, and I recently discovered that we shared the same naked cleaner.
Right. Finally, David, what is your relationship with Melissa?
This is Melissa, and she once assaulted me with a super soaker when she mistook me for a fox.
Please, team, where do you want to begin?
Well, it's got to be Raj, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, why are you cuddling her car?
I had a car which was my pride and joy. It wasn't the value, it was just a Spitfire. It was a really nice blue Spitfire.
Which stage of your life was this, Raj?
To be honest, I sold the car only about 6 years ago. And I hadn't seen the car for all that time. And as lockdown was easing, we were told that you could actually drive to beauty spots and go for a walk. We got in the car, we drove to the parking spot at Hempstead Forest.
Oh, Hampstead Forest, yeah.
No, Hempstead.
Hempstead.
I just thought you were very posh. The car at Hempstead Forest.
It's about 2 miles from where I live.
OK.
And we parked up, and lo and behold, there was my old car.
So you went and embraced the car?
Well, I would never have sold that car, but it was about the time when I really had a bad back. So it was just too much getting in and out of the Spitfire. It was really low. So my wife said, you know,
yeah,
you've got to...
Rob's the same, getting in and out of his bath.
Yeah.
You've got a little door now, haven't you, Rob? So
I saw the car.
You saw your car, and it's obviously same red,
and
so
literally,
you know it's yours.
we were in a good mood. The sun was shining. We were able to go for a walk. Yeah. And I said to Sue, you know, it's my old car.
You said to Sue?
Yes, Sue's my wife. So I said to Sue, oh, man, it's my old car. And I just said, oh, I've got to give it a hug. Yeah. And so I went over and literally I was giving it a hug. And this lovely lady came up to me and said, excuse me, but what are you doing with my car?
Right, can I just ask you a question? Have you come on national television to invent an alibi about you and your wife going dogging?
How did Melissa react upon her arrival?
Well, to be honest, I mean, she didn't know who I was from Adam, so she, you know, said, what are you doing? And I had to explain that this actually was my car, because she hadn't bought it off me.
OK. What year was this car?
It was, I think, 1963.
Ah, and it's a Triumph, so it'll have had the sort of TR4A suspension.
To be honest, I have no idea, Lee.
Ah, good, because I haven't either. Was it a soft top?
Yeah, it was only a two-seater.
But, Raj, you also said that Melissa was there with her family. It's a two-seater.
Oh.
No, I never said she was there with her family.
There's more to you than a lobster costume.
Do you know what I'm saying?
She definitely wasn't there with her family. She was there with a friend. There was just two of them.
Just the two of them?
In the same bubble?
Keep it light.
All right, who would you like to quiz next?
Well, Deborah, she said they shared a naked cleaner. Now, I've heard of naked cleaners.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is it a thing?
It is a thing, and I know two people that have them.
Wait, stop.
No, because I can't say who it is.
Well, we know who they are.
Does one always stand on the left so we know who it is?
No, don't go there.
I didn't say anybody. Who are you thinking of?
No. Why did I come on the show? Do you know what? Can I just say to our lovely audience here and everybody watching at home, Rob, I've told a million times how much I love this show. I told you how much I love this show before the show. I told everybody that I love this show. The reality is I never want to come on this show again.
I should say, you can hire naked cleaners. I had not hired a naked cleaner. I had hired a cleaner who was wonderful and I adored. And one day I came home and discovered her cleaning naked.
Oh. Naked. Completely
Yes.
naked. Now, please tell us about that conversation.
I came in and I shouted out, "Hello, Anna, I'm home." And she popped her head out of the bedroom and said, "Oh, I'm cleaning naked because it's so hot." And I went, "Oh." And I said to my best friend, thank God my husband didn't come home, And she went, don't be ridiculous, Deborah, he was under the bed.
You're not a very good cleaner, is she?
Yeah, and anyway, it then turned out it was just something that she liked to do. If it got very hot and there was no one home, she enjoyed cleaning naked.
Right, so, and did you say this is fine?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I feel very grateful anyone will come and hoover and clean my bathroom as it is. I'm not going to start making stipulations like you have to have clothes on.
I don't think that's a strict rule. I think you're allowed to say, you know, tea's in the kitchen, milk's in the fridge, keep your clothes on. I think that's completely fine.
No, because I feel uncomfortable. Then I feel like I'm one of the lords and ladies in Downton Abbey.
So you think by saying keep your clothes on it makes you sound a bit uppity?
Yeah, just generally...
It's a good point, actually, because I'm worried... I've got a cleaner and I'm worried I'm not down to earth as I used to be. So when I get back, I'm going to say, can you take all your clothes off? Because I'm a little bit worried that people are getting the wrong impression of me.
So Melissa isn't the cleaner that...
No.
What's the connection?
OK, so I was at a party and I overheard behind me someone telling my anecdote, which was I came home, the cleaner put her head out of the bedroom saying, I'm cleaning naked because it's so hot. And I thought, she's stolen my anecdote. So I just went, excuse me, that's my story. That happened to me. And she went, well, it happened to me. I said, what is your cleaner's name? And she said, Anna. And I went, oh, my God, we've got the same cleaner.
Yeah, but hang on. She doesn't advertise herself as a naked cleaner. No. She's a cleaner who likes to take her clothes off. You're saying they exist as a... Would you like to book a naked cleaner?
Yes, they do.
But clearly what Anna does, you know, you would prefer that. That doesn't sound...
No, I think...
That doesn't...
The potential here...
Oh, I just want to go home.
Now, the point is that what you're saying, I think, is that, that this Anna maybe has missed her vocation working as the kind of cleaner you're talking about your perverted show business friends liking, where they not only are allowed to take their clothes off, but must do.
You're very calm about this. You're like, OK, that's fine, that's your attitude. I'm shocked. You know, you're married. Do you want your husband to see a naked woman cleaning the house?
Oh, he would just be... He's like David. He would be... He was very like David. He would just be really embarrassed about it.
He'd just be a bit embarrassed?
He'd just be a bit embarrassed.
All right, now, what about David?
Oh, he's never been naked in his life.
Every bit of me has been naked, but never all at the same time.
I like to think of the idea that you came out in a little jacket.
Remind us of your connection to Melissa.
Well, this is Melissa, and she once assaulted me with a super soaker when she mistook me for a fox.
Are we all aware of the super soakers?
It's basically a large, powerful water pistol.
Yeah,
it takes the fun of the water pistol and then goes too far. You'll be familiar with the principle, Lee.
What were you doing for her to think you were a fox?
Were you, by any chance, making love with a high-pitched squeal?
By the bins.
Yeah. Again.
No, I wasn't. I think, as we've established...
I've heard you, David. We've all heard.
No, you can't have it both ways. I'm either some pathetic asexual lump, as correctly expressed by Deborah, or...
To be strictly fair, I did not describe my husband or you as a pathetic asexual lump.
No.
Yeah, but we knew what you were thinking.
I'm either an embarrassed embarrassment or I'm a fox squealing by the bins. Not both.
But what were you doing?
Good question. I was replacing and removing a bin. Melissa lives next door. We both have, at our house and at her house, green recycling wheelie bins.
A green bin is for green waste.
Yeah. No, that's the brown one.
Where I live, which I'm not prepared to specify on television for obvious reasons.
What? In case they try every door?
It's just they could narrow it down. Anyway, a green wheelie bin is what you have for recycling where I live.
But why did she think you're a fox?
It was dark, and she heard noises and assumed it was a fox.
And where are you at this point? You're just putting the bin back?
I am putting the bin down the side of her house.
Right.
And extracting our bin, because the bins, after being emptied, sometimes get wrongly reattributed.
Now, that's true.
So she's immediately gone, come round, got you. How many times?
I think it was one big sploosh.
She got you, though?
She got me.
How wet were you?
Is there a unit of wetness? I don't remember it hurting, but it was shocking and wet.
That's his profile on Match.com.
I wouldn't describe it as pain, but it was definitely...
That's the second list.
It was shocking and...
Shocking, not too wet, but painful.
All right.
Similar for fun and games.
We need an answer. So, Lee's team, is Melissa Raj's motoring mate, Deborah's cleaner companion, or David's sharpshooter?
I'm Team Deborah. Having the same anecdote and being furious about someone stealing your anecdote and finding out you independently had experienced the same thing would bond you.
I'm believing Raj.
Are you?
I am, yeah, because I could imagine he would get excited about it. It's something that he would do.
What do you think, Lee?
Well, everything about David's story makes sense. He would swap the bins in a way that no other human being would. Not just, oh, yeah, sorry, got your bin. Oh, no, that's far. Oh, no, I better put it back secretly. She'll hate me otherwise. Right, so, I'm now going to make a decision. We'll go with the cleaner story.
All right. They're saying that it is the cleaner. Melissa, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Melissa, and I shared a naked cleaner with Deborah.
Whoa!
Yes, Melissa is Deborah's cleaner companion. Thank you very much, Melissa. Right, are we doing it again? Yeah? Yeah, OK.
On the count of 3, we're going to have the magic words. 1, 2, 3. Would I
like
you?